Hey, it's time to get amplified. Hey, it's Channel Dad Bryon Lape back with reviews you can use, something that we haven't done in a long time on this channel, and I can't make any promises that I'm going to be better this year than I was last, or the year before, the year before, the year before. Anyway, I finally tried Optimum Nutrition's pre-amplifier. You know, I've reviewed a few of their protein powders over the years. I do have creatine monohydrate that I haven't started taking it because I haven't finished the stuff that I have. Although it's pretty much just kind of the run-of-the-mill, so nothing special, so I don't know if there'll be a review of it or not. But I picked this up, it's been a while. I had this back in February, actually. And I don't remember how much it was. I think it was at Walmart in Bristol, Virginia. And anyway, and I don't have my glasses. I left them upstairs yet again. I'll get them next time, I guess. So we have looks like 19 gram, well, the scoop is 19 grams, so a serving is 19 grams. There's the scoop is not 19 grams. It's 3 scoops per serving. And so this container is approximately 22, I think is what that says, 20, golly dang. It's also the glare does not help. Anyway, maybe it's 20. So we've got your typical well-balanced. Now, Optimum Nutrition, they don't typically do what everyone else does. They typically have things well balanced. We got some vitamin C and D. I thought there was caffeine in here. Yes, there's 300 milligrams of caffeine. You've got your beta-alanine and all those, 3 grams of beta-alanine, 6 grams of citrulline, and it's microlysed L-citrulline. You've got betaine, or betaine, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce it. All these years, you'd think I would learn how to pronounce these things properly. Anyway, this is the Tropical Punch flavor, which was kind of a reddish color, and quite often I just call it red. What I liked about this, now it does say intense energy, pumps, and performance. I never get a pump, ever, ever, ever. And intense energy is usually decent energy. I almost never get an intense energy out of these things. But performance was good, and I took this sometimes before I went skiing, on patrol, stuff like that. Now, Beach Mountain, where I now patrol, we don't ski anywhere near as much as we used to at Perfect North. Mainly because the size of the mountain, it takes too long to get back up. If you're not careful, everyone on the shift is on a lift somewhere, and that's very bad. So we typically will open, we'll do a few runs, we'll be at the top, and then we'll kind of cycle. We don't just sit around all day. Sometimes we do, but usually we have someone cycling. All depends on who's there. A few times this season I found myself as the only sled driver at the top of the hill, and so I couldn't go anywhere. But I also did some workouts. I'm finally slowly getting back into working out like I should. Got to do squats tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to do a take it and hit the gym type thing. Even though I've got an empty container of that particular pre-workout. But this is for me, a solid 9 out of 10. It's not quite there for me, but it's much better than others. It's kind of in the middle of the road as far as price. There are other ones that are more expensive. One thing I did like about the scoops it says approximately 3 scoops, so I just took it as 3 scoops as a serving, is if I didn't need as much, I could take a scoop and a half very easily. There were many times that I took like 1 scoop in the morning, did some other stuff in the morning, and then I went to the gym in the afternoon, and not evening, but maybe late, mid-afternoon, especially on a weekend. I might do a bunch of stuff, might do some yard work, mow the lawn, I might, do some other stuff around the house and then go and do something. Or I do have a deadlift station that I'm trying to get to where I can do overhead presses as well, dumbbells or whatever. But this one had a really good, for a pre-workout, and because I don't need as much caffeine, I don't need as much stuff, I was able to regulate a little bit better how much do I want to take. But there were times, I put 3 scoops in a shaker and sipped it on the way to the gym, sipped it while I was at the gym. And got to work on my squat form. My squat form is horrible. Been watching Rippetoe videos again. I think my feet are too close. But, and I typically do that. I don't realize how wide my shoulders are, and I think I have my ankles shoulder width apart, and I really don't. And so it's a wider stance than I think is necessary. But as the cuckoo clock glows. But anyway, 9 out of 10. I mean, there's very few pre-workouts I've had that are better than this one. So in my view, it's worth the little extra money. I did one several years ago now that was a mixture of stuff. I think it was one you had to do like a scoop, 2 different scoops. It was divided in half. I don't even remember what brand it was. It's something I bought at GNC. Now that was a solid 10 out of 10, maybe an 11 out of 10. You have to go back in some old videos to find that one. And they also had a post-workout for amino acids and stuff, and that was really good too. And it was one of these things. I mean, it's one way to know that your post-workout amino acids has what it claims. It doesn't dissolve well in water. Aminos do not mix in water. So 9 out of 10 in my book. Very good if you can afford it. And again, some people might say, but it's only 20 servings. But again, it's easier to regulate. And if you find you need all 3 scoops, then maybe you need something a bit more kick. I've seen 450 and 500 milligrams of caffeine per serving, and a lot of them too. Now this one doesn't quite do it, but many of them will say on the front, so many servings, and then you flip it over, and that's if you only do 1 scoop. Yeah, it says 20 servings right on the front in bigger letters than what's on the back. And that, to me, that's just false. It's misleading. It's not really false advertising, because that's why you'll see on the back 1 scoop, 2 scoops. But you also find that you need both scoops to really get cranking. But anyway, that's my review of the pre-workout Optimum Nutrition. It dissolved well from what I remember. And as I said, I used to take it in a small shaker bottle. Have you seen the shaker bottle on this channel? And quite often I was sipping on, take some, maybe a third of it, sipping and the gym is about 10 minutes up the road. It's not too far in miles, but it's a 40 mile. I mean, it's supposed to be 45, but with all the stuff they've got going on because of Helene and the way the roads are all ripped up, you're lucky to do 30 for a lot of it. It's just you got to avoid potholes that'll just swallow your car whole. It's incredible. And I was hoping to show some of where they're putting the mulch of the trees they're shredding in the field across Copperhead, but it's too bright out there still. Maybe a little bit later, we'll see. I mean, it's a mound. It's like 20 feet high. I don't know how big it's going to be, and there's still areas where you see just hundreds of trees still down. So the cleanup will take a long time. So and we're nowhere near as bad as North Carolina. So I really feel for everyone there. Still make donations. There's still families in need over there. So if you have to. Find a good organization you trust and make a donation. I really encourage you to do that. Thank you very much for stopping by, and we will see you. Goodbye.